Hello students, today let us discuss about abstract algebra. Let me start with some basic definitions. Set, it is a collection of well-defined objects. For example, number of people affected by corona in India. Empty set, a set with no elements. Then non-empty set, a set containing at least one element. So next is binary operation. An operation stored on a non-empty set G is said to be binary operation if for all a comma b belongs to G, a star b belongs to G. Here the star, so in mathematics we have some 4 basic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So this star may be one among those 4. Okay, suppose, so here what it says, an operation star that may be addition, multiplication and so on a non-empty set G is said to be binary operation if for any a comma b belongs to G, a star b must be belongs to G. This property is known as closure law. Okay, so for example, if you see star, suppose if I take star equal to plus means addition, so in place of G I will take set of natural numbers. So if we know that 1 is natural number, 2 is natural number, 1 plus 2 is 3 is again a natural number. That means plus is an binary operation. So in the similar way, suppose if I take star is equal to multiplication, that is in place of star if I take multiplication, for example I will take a set of integers. Okay, minus 3 into 4 is minus 12. So here minus 3 is integer, 4 is integer, again their multiplication is minus 12. This is again integer. Therefore multiplication is binary operation. Okay, so now the main definition is group. So group means an algebraic structure G comma star to order pair where G is a non-empty set and star is the binary operation. Okay, G comma star is said to be group if it satisfies the following 4 properties. See, firstly closure law, associative law, identity law and inverse law. Firstly closure law means, as we already discussed above, it is for all a comma b belongs to G, a star G also belongs to G. Then associative law, to define this one we need 3 elements. For all a comma b comma c belongs to G, a star b star of C is equal to a star of b star C. Okay, then comes identity law. So identity law means for all a belongs to G, a star E equal to A, which is equal to E star equal. Here, so you see, you can observe that A star equal to A. That means E is an identity element. For example, if I take 2 plus 0 is equal to 2, 3 plus 0 equal to 3, again 5 plus 0 is equal to 5. That means there 0 is acting as an identity element with respect to addition. So with respect to addition, we can here he can be replaced by 0. With respect to multiplication, e can be replaced by 1 because 3 into 1 is 3, 2 into 1 is 3 and so on. So here e is equal to 0 with respect to addition and e is equal to 1 with respect to multiplication. Okay, so please keep this in mind. Then the inverse law. So inverse law means for all E belongs to G, there exists A inverse belongs to G such that A star A inverse is equal to E. That means suppose if you multiply 2 elements, you are getting identity element, then one is the inverse of other. So for example, we know, as I already said, 1 is the identity element with respect to multiplication. So if you multiply 3 into 1 by 3, what you will get? 3 get cancels and 1. That means 1 by 3 is the inverse of 3. So getting. So and with respect to addition, 0 is the identity element. So that means, for example, 2 minus 2 is 0. That means minus 2 is the identity element of 2. So that is what the inverse law. Okay, if this algebraic structure satisfies these four conditions, we call that as a group. Okay, for example, Z plus is a group, Q plus is a group. Plus means that the meaning of this is set of rational numbers is a group under addition. Next, set of real numbers is a group under addition. So in place of plus we can also take the multiplication, such that set of rational numbers is a group with respect to multiplication and so on. Okay, then comes the abelian group, a commutative group. A group G, okay, is said to be, as a group definition I already said, a group G is said to be abelian if for all a comma b belongs to G is equal to ab equal to ba. Commutative, you can observe this very important definition. So if for example, take the integers. Okay, 3 plus 4 is 7, 4 plus 3 is 7. That means it is satisfying commutative law. Therefore, set of integers form a commutative group with respect to addition. Okay, so you can, in the same way you can verify for the multiplication also. So for example, all the three examples taken above are abelian groups. So note, set of rational numbers does not form a group. So because you see 2 plus 0 is 2, okay, but this 0 is not in n. 0 is, of course, 0 is the identity element with respect to addition, but that has to be in the given set, but 0 does not belongs to n. Okay, so then comes subgroup. So here a subset H of a group G is said to be subgroup if H itself is a group under the same binary operation. Getting subset of a G is said to be subgroup if H itself is a group with the same binary operation. For example, Z plus means a set of integers, Z comma plus means set of integers with respect to addition. Okay, this is integers, set of integers. It is a group, subgroup of rational numbers with respect to addition. Okay, then comes this is the necessary and sufficient condition for a subset to be subgroup, that is a non-empty subset H of a group G is a subgroup of G if and only if for all a comma b belongs to G, a b inverse belongs to H. Okay, this is the necessary and sufficient condition for a subset to be subgroup. Example, the group Z comma plus is a subgroup of Q plus. Okay, then it's not a subgroup, but then let H be the subset of, these are all some notes, just you can refer those things. HK means subset HK can be written as small h into small k, where small h belongs to capital H and small k belongs to capital K. And H inverse means it can be written as A inverse, where A belongs to H. Okay, now let us discuss some theorems. So you see first theorem, what it says means statement. I will just read out the statement. If H and K are any two subsets of G, then HK whole inverse is equal to K inverse H inverse. Let us prove this one. So whenever you have to prove two quantities are equal, you have to show that one is contained in other and one is contained in other one, vice versa we have to show. Okay, firstly let X belongs to HK inverse. Okay, then there exists X belongs to H and K belongs to K, such that X is equal to HK whole inverse. Okay, because X belongs to capital HK inverse, how the elements among this one, because HK is equal to small hk, capital H into capital K is equal to small h into small k. So if I take whole inverse, so you will get this one, X is equal to HK whole inverse. Okay, then now h is equal x is equal to hk whole inverse, this implies this can be written as, since they are elements, so by reversal law. So I think here I have not given in, so next in the next so further next I will tell you x equal to k inverse h inverse belongs to this one. Okay, since and so on, this implies this is subset.